All right, here we go. Last painting of the Tour de France. Of course, I will have already posted the first tour, first painting of the fitty music. I don't know if you can hear it or not. My wife is watching something in the other room. But so we're at the final stage there on the Champs-Élysées, as will become obvious here in just a moment. But this is, the stage that we've gone through all the processional stuff. You can paint at those, the champagne toast, the photo ops, all that kind of thing, the clowning for the camera. Well, there wasn't a lot of that this time. Although Tadej did sort of fake an attack and go off the front, was quickly covered by Wout van Aert. So, a little bit of clowning. Although, if they had not responded, would Tadej have actually kept going? Probably not. Yeah, it's just a tradition that you don't attack. Sort of the only thing that's contested on the final stage is the stage win. And it's usually a print stage. I can't think of the last time. Well, I don't think I've ever seen a successful breakaway on the last stage. I've seen plenty of breakaways. And there's actually a couple of guys off the road right now. But successful as in getting to the line and winning the stage, no, that just doesn't happen. There's too much. If you think about it, this is the 5th of 21 stages that the spinners even have a chance, and they've suffered mightily through the mountains. They're not going to squander this chance to have their moment of glory. Plus, there's several spinners that haven't won a stage yet, and it's why they're on the team. It's their whole thing is to win stages for the team, so they're under extra pressure to deliver today. Not an enviable. Yeah, I stumbled over that word. Not an enviable position to be in. Stumbled over it again. To have that much pressure on you, to have gone through everything, to have your team done all they can to get you through the mountains, beating the time breaks. Both Caleb Ewan and Jacobsen only beat a time cut off by 16 seconds in the mountains. Most of his team was out there cheering him on to welcome him over the mountain. It was actually a very nice image. These teams are together a long time, not only in the tour, but training camps and other races, and they really are develop a great friendship and a great trust in each other, belief in each other. So the Quick Step, who this is a rider for, I don't know who it is, on the front right here. They call themselves the Wolf Pack, and it really is. They really do ride for each other. If one wins, they all win. It's sort of the team's ethos. And I really don't think it's BS either, because you can see it on the finish line. So to see them all cheering on Jacobsen as he desperately tries to make the time cut was really, just a further proof of that. It's interesting, this year they normally have a big French flag hanging in the middle of the arch. First did it in the 100th anniversary of the tour. And it's been there every year, and I was watching the women's race going, well, that's rude. They're not going to have the flag for them, and then they're going to hang it for the men, but apparently they weren't going to hang it for anybody. Just call this down the other side. So, oops, see something else I didn't do. There. So now again, as always, start with the warm colors. So I really tried to get this feel of swinging around this, iconic arch, the L'Arc de Triomphe. I forget what they call the circle. I have seen that circle in full traffic mode, and it's stunningly frightening. But we'll start with the yellow. And we'll work our way around. So these interconnecting barriers, it's interesting. I've never seen these yellow and black interlocking barriers anywhere but on the Champs-Élysées during the tour. I don't recall ever seeing them anywhere in France other than here. So now we'll make the skin tone of these riders. I believe there were 2 African riders of color in the tour, but I'm not sure, they were not. They just didn't factor, and I think at least one has gone home already. I'm sorry, I'm not recalling their names right now. That has not been the case in years past, and it's really the tours, or the pro peloton more than the tour, is paying attention to that, paying attention to just how white this sport is. I know when I go out on group rides, it has gotten certainly less and less so there's more, I'm saying this, but there are certainly some Colombian riders of color, brown, I don't know, that expression always feels bad. The tour is, in cycling in general, is white, but that's changing. And it's going to be interesting to see just how much it changes in the next couple of years. It's already a whole new this tour is a real representation of a new generation of cyclists coming up. Geraint Thomas, and of course I remember him riding in support of other riders like Chris Froome. I also remember winning the tour a couple of years back. Is now considered the old guy in the peloton, and he still's finishing third, so it's not like it's all just young bucks. Now, I just broke my own rules and did those cooler colors. So now I'm going to shift over to the red. Painting, well, yes, there are certainly rules to know, rules that will help you create better paintings. They're not absolutes. There's color rules that, you can often break to great success. It's just, so maybe I should say recommendations instead of color rules. So of course watching the tour, and I know many people watch it for scenery, but particularly watching today and seeing all the parks and green spaces and the incredible monuments and buildings of Paris. God, it makes me want to go back. look forward to traveling again sometime in the not so distant future. So now I'll start moving into the blues. This is a quick step, not a quick step, bike exchange behind, riding for the sprinter. And just the rest of the peloton lining out behind. I think while I have this blue on the brush, go ahead and do the sky. So this is through the arch, a little harder to see. And this is the thing, is like, I didn't realize that there was arches, or didn't. Let's be fair, I didn't remember. I have been, fortunately, to get to the Arc de Triomphe, you do not have to try to get across 12 lanes of crazed traffic, merging 12 boulevards. You can actually walk underneath and pop up inside of the, up under the arc. A little safer than trying to get across that street. I don't think it can be done, probably. So now we're going to mix with black. It's a touch more green. So again, mixing that purple and green. This traffic barrier things. It always feels like such a distinctive Parisian, in the Tour de France Parisian image for me, is those black and white, black and yellow barriers. And of course, these guys are not only racing flat out, but racing on cobblestones. And while they're not the horrible cobblestones that they raced on earlier that are used in Paris-Roubaix, they're still not smooth. I wouldn't want to be riding them. We have very similar cobbles here where I live in Richmond, Virginia, and I always avoid them. I don't even like driving over them. But when I'm out on a ride, I take a slightly different route, because they do, if you go through downtown and go out to the into the city, there's a great bike trail that goes all the way from Richmond, Virginia down to Williamsburg. It's called the Cap to Cap. Wow, this painting's coming along quicker and almost done. So that gives me time to remind you to give it a thumbs up. Follow if you not already are. We've got a great race coming up with the women. You don't want to miss any of those videos if you've been enjoying these. And even if you haven't been enjoying those are going to be a treat to watch. It's going to be a great race. I'm looking forward to it. I already started out intense today. And then to remind you that you can see all of my art, my cycling art, at theartofcycling.blogspot.com. And much of the work is still available for sale, about a third of the men's tour. And if you're quick, well, you won't. This will already have been posted. This will not be posted until a day or so after the race is ended, but there may still be some available from today. For your sake, I hope they are. But so you can either go to the blog, and there's direct link clicks to each painting, to my website, which is gregleach.com, or you can just do that. Just go to my website and click through. But nevertheless, thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a little bit, enjoy watching the watercolors, learn a little bit about the tour, and we'll tune in for the women's race. Just saw something I missed there. Look it up. Thank you so much.